Welcome back to Beaver Model Builds, everybody. We are carrying on with the BF-110E, getting into the wing section, picking up right where we left off from the last video. Now we're going to be getting into more of the main body assembly in this vid, and then we're going to get really into masking the canopy. And this canopy on this sucker has got a lot of windows, and Edward does send the masking with the kit. Here we're punching some holes through the wings here where we're going to be putting the bomb mounts on later on, but let's get it done now. This is another case of masking tape is your friend. Learned over a few builds that follow the seams, so tape it as you glue it and just go all the way around, or you can do it in one shot. It depends on your own fancy with that one. You can make it work both ways. Edward kit here has the ailerons separate, so we're going to be sticking those guys on. I guess you can put them in different positions if you're going to make a flying version, but we're just going to leave it in static mode. Really see the detail cut into the wings. It's going to be fun painting this when we get to that phase. The 110E was an all aluminum constructions, and it shows it with the rivets already in the panel lines, which is pretty cool. Pretty simple engine nacelles, just a couple of pieces and then a vent on the bottom. They don't have an open engine option for this kit. Now we're getting into the guns and the front nose. This configuration had 4 MG17 machine guns in the upper nose, each with 1,000 rounds, and then 2 20mm cannons in the lower nose, each with about 180 rounds. So they go from light targets to heavy targets, or just give them everything if they needed to. Still moving on with the Tamiya extra thin to put this nose cone together, and there it is. All right, now we're moving on to the canopy. This is a method I'm trying out for the first time, and that's going to be dipping the parts. So first going to make up some little sticks here. Saw these little sticky sticks at the model show, and I figured, you know what, I can make these things out of toothpicks and a little bit of two-sided tape. So here we go. I'm going to rig up some little sticky sticks here, peel the other side off, and then grab a little piece of canopy. Now I've made sure I've gone and wiped down everything with some alcohol and let it dry. There they are, all on their sticky sticks. And now we're moving into the clear coat. We're using the Aclid 2 lacquer glossy coat there, and we're going to dip every single piece of glass on this model in the clear coat. Boop. And there it is. And then get the excess off just by dipping it against the lid, the top there. Does a pretty good job of getting rid of the extra drops. All right, one piece at a time. There's the big piece, main canopy. Make sure we drip off on that, and then protect it from the dust. I've got this cool little box I got with an M2 Machines little die cast set, and that box comes in real handy for keeping your parts nice and free of dust. Now we're moving into the white glue here. This is basically just wood glue that I've been using, and it's the white stuff. It dries relatively clear, and we're going to start sticking the canopy down on it. And also, the other nice thing about it is that later on, we're going to have to disassemble these pieces, and the white glue does not actually melt the plastic, so It's a nice option to pop off later on, and it cleans up nice. We're just going to lay beads all the way down here. Nice and thin, but you want to make sure you pretty much seal the interior when you've done this much work, because we're going to be doing a lot of spraying, and spray will creep in any openings you got. But you want to make sure you close all of them up before you start throwing the spray at it. There we go. We're going to display this with the canopy open. So again, going to carry on with the white glue, put it down now, but we know we can pick it apart later on. Out of focusness there. Just making sure we're capturing all little build fun here for you. We still got it all sped up. Notice that the front canopy is out. The windscreen, because we had measurements were a little bit off. And again, there's a perfectly good example of why this white glue is nice. You can pick that off and pick off all the glue, and you don't have to worry about screwing up any of the plastic. All right. Fitting on the front glass for the last time, and then we got to get the lid on to the top. So far, it is looking excellent. There is another version available in the glass for having the back canopy open as well, but the masking kit that comes with the kit doesn't really, it's a little bit different. It doesn't really cover, so we're just going to opt with the front part of the canopy open up for the pilot, and guy in the back's just going to have to figure it out, eh? All right, there it is. Now moving into the masking kit. This is the first time I've actually used a pre-cut mask on a model. That's how old-fashioned I am, used to the toothpick. So we're going to see how this goes. I have heard nothing but good things about the Eduard masking kits, so I think it's high time I gave them a shot. There is a lot of panels to cover on this particular canopy, which was one of the reasons why I did pick this one, to see if we could use the clear gloss coat, and in between using an actual masking kit. I'm really excited to see how this turns out at the end. I did it the old-fashioned way, just with masking tape and a toothpick following the lines. Most of the years of modeling, it took time off, and now that I'm back into it after a hiatus, there is several newer products available, which is very cool. So we are back into it, and laying these pre-cut pieces onto the glass is really satisfying. And even though it seems like a slow process here, it is actually a much quicker process than my old one, which you can check out on one of my other build videos, because I usually document the canopy masking as much as I can, because this is something that can make or break the final product. Right here, you want to be able to not only see the lines, but still see inside, especially with all that super cool photo etch we just did. As you can tell, tweezers, and I usually like to use a little pin, setting pin, as some of your best tools, unless you've got some of the fancy specialized stuff, work these things around, let alone your own little digits. Nice to make sure you scrub your hands nice and clean, and your fingertips, try and get the grease off of them too when you're doing this kind of work, because all of that is going to mess the paint up later on if you're not careful. And I always make sure I wipe all my surfaces down with a little cloth, a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it, or a little bit of thinner, just to make sure you can keep all of your surfaces nice and oil free, because having your paint come up way later on sucks because you got too much finger grease on your model. This is the stage when you've got to be careful with that kind of thing. All right. Last few panels to go here, and these panel masks are amazing. Cut beautiful. They all fit right specific to the model. Now, that is one thing you have to make sure you look up. I mentioned that earlier on, is when you're looking for masking kits, go by the kit number. You know, the actual number, because you could look up BF-110E and even could be the same company, and it still won't be the right set. So go by the model number, the kit number, and then you're going to usually yield a lot more positive results. You don't have to worry about wasting any money on masking kits that don't match up the model you actually bought. Ask me how I know that one. All right, couple more panels to cover right here. You see how you can use that needle as a tool, right? And hey, look at that. There it is. That is all of the canopy masking taken care of. Now we're going to start back on some more assembly, getting the nose cone on here, all of the guns. And that's one of the main armaments of this plane, other than the amount of ordnance that you could drop out from underneath it. Typical loadout for the 110E in this theater was 250 kilogram bombs under the fuselage and 4 50 kilogram bombs under the wings. All right, here we get into a little bit of fit and finish on the model, because this horizontal stab back here, an elevator went on perfectly straight and snapped right into place nicely. Same with the wings connecting to the fuselage. And when you get it into the eyeball position here, now I just glued down the tail, but just dry fit the wing just to, you know, get a look at it. And it's really straight, so there wasn't really any warping, extra sanding, or anything I needed to do. All right, now the engine nacelles we built up earlier on, throwing some beads down to get them locked in, and even a little bit of a crack filler bead across the top as well. The Sin CA will get in there and help fill minor cracks naturally. Now we're going to go for the vertical stabs and rudders. It didn't click in as good, but still, everything fit pretty perfect. Takes a little bit of adjustment, but when you're using this thing to put these guys down, you've got a good minute or so afterwards where you can still get in there and do alignment, get them all straightened up. Now we're into the filler. All right, this is a spot that always gets done on most models, is right where that wing comes into the fuselage right here. And this is a new trick I'm trying. I'm using the Tamiya putty white stuff, and apparently you can clean this stuff up with lacquer thinner on a little Q-tip there, and you dip it off and wipe it off and go in there and start working it off the model, and it works remarkably well. Okay, so this is a lot less sanding, and once that dries off right there, you can just go in with a light sanding afterwards. I'm coming in here with I believe it's like 280, nothing too heavy, and just cleaning it up. So that worked pretty good. That's going to be a trick I'm going to be bringing on with me, right? So there it is. The BF-110E. We have now got the canopy done, and the filler work, much as I'm going to do there. And this is pretty much ready to go to primer, and then into the paint department. And wow, this thing has got a crazy paint job. It's going to be interesting to try and execute that. But there it is, everybody. Thanks for hanging out so far. This is part 2. We're going to move into part 3, where we're going to start off with the primer and get into the finishing. So thanks for hanging out so far.